Jared, it's an interesting story that we saw earlier this morning for us on the West Coast and maybe early afternoon for those of you on the East Coast. But Tennessee quarterback Nico Iamaleava, an interesting development. Pete Thamel over at ESPN reporting that Nico Iamaleava did not attend Tennessee spring practice today and, quote, he's been in conversations with Tennessee about a new contract on an NIL deal, and the no-show of practice came as a surprise, is what Pete Thamel is reporting. Nico, I guess, made it known earlier this week that he wanted to renegotiate his NIL deal, and now in 2025, in this day and age, we are actually seeing, Jared, our first ever college football holdout. Now, this is just spring practice. Like, spring practice is important, but it's not like, this is not fall practice. This isn't August and Nico's saying, you know what, I'm not practicing 3 weeks before our game, but still an interesting development that he feels like he needs to force his hand. And the big deadline is that the spring transfer portal is getting set to open up as well. So this thing could come to a head here for Tennessee and Nico Iamaleava.
Yeah, pay me or I'm Nico Iamaleava. That's kind of the new vibe of what we're hearing now in college football.
What does the crew think about that one? Or do we like? Are we yay or nay on that one, guys? Is that a yay or nay? Put it in the chat.
I am leaving.
I am leaving. Whatever Jared just said. Is that a okay? Jake is saying he's throwing tomatoes at you. It's tomato. Boo.
Listen, I only get one crack at this with you guys.
Phoenix. You're like Joaquin Phoenix and Joker, just standing up there with your Nika Iamaleava, whatever the hell you just said.
I mean, listen, you know, I do one show with you guys every few weeks. I gotta make my mark. There
you go.
I gotta make sure you guys remember. Hey, there's a reason why we only have him on once every few weeks because of lines.
Yeah, Jared's Iamaleava out of here. Yeah, see you later, buddy.
So I had a chance to chat with Brooks Austin, the film guy. Shout out, film guy. Does a great job covering the SEC. Mostly a Georgia guy, but obviously does a great job covering a lot. And he said he calls this hostile negotiation tactics. That's what he is calling it. I mean, listen, I think it is what it is, right? Like college football, college sports. We've seen it with the tournament. We've seen it with college basketball. What are like 2,000 kids in the transfer portal in college basketball? Like it's absurd. The level of movement and, you know, the scrutiny these kids are under to make sure they're in the right spot. I think as much as I love Nico, his numbers like really weren't outstanding last year. Like he was top 40 in QBR, 36th. So he's basically asking for more money than Carson Beck got last year. I don't know. Is he worth more than Carson Beck? I would say maybe. I think it's more about Tennessee's system and who else they have behind him. Because I'll be honest, this could go in a very bad direction for Tennessee and Nico. Like, who knows? Someone might swoop in and say, hey, maybe Nico is available. Like, that's the beauty of free agency now, or I guess we're going to call it free agency in college football. I don't know if we're going to see a career star player like this bounce schools because of a holdout or hostile negotiations. But I wouldn't be, if it was going to happen, I wouldn't be shocked if it was an SEC quarterback because those are I would say the most high profile college football players we have in the sport. So a unique situation, but is it surprising based off of what we've seen over the last couple of years, Femi? I would say it's not surprising at all.
Yeah, I mean, this is just kind of a new development, I guess, in college football. Like, this is like something that we're going to have to get accustomed to seeing. And the spring transfer portal, which is like probably a nice deadline for the two sides to reach some kind of an agreement, it opens up April 16th and closes April 25th. So next week, like next Thursday, like we can start talking about Nico. If this thing goes awry and maybe like the Tennessee doesn't want to meet his demands, whatever they are, this could be Nico just saying, all right, well, I'm going to the portal. And like, you guys now have to recruit me from the portal to come back, or I'm going to go out there and seek other options and like seek other programs who are looking for quarterbacks. Cause I'm sure like I was not super impressed with Nico. Like overall, there were some moments where it's like, oh, okay, I see what everyone else is talking about. And some other moments where I'm like, okay, this is the guy that everyone's been hyping up. So like it was a little bit up and down his first full season as a starter, but like I'm sure he's a talented enough kid to where others programs will want him, and he's played big time college football at the highest level. Like that's an easy guy that you bring in and say, all right, like you're our guy. Like we'll get you ready to roll like all throughout fall camp, and then all systems go once the season gets here. So like it's a big deal for obviously for Tennessee and for Nico, but I don't know. Like I could also see the side of hey, like Tennessee, their system, like you mentioned, and Josh Heupel, that's actually what's most important here. And if
Yes.
Nico's asking for the sun, the moon, the stars, Pluto, Jupiter, like Neptune, he's asking for all of it. Like at that point, I'm like, all right, buddy, see you later, dude. Like you know, like we don't need you that bad, even though you are among the contenders to win the Heisman Trophy. Like I'm looking at it right now at BetMGM. Nico is 14-1 to win the Heisman. That's like the fourth best odds of any player in the country. Tennessee, they're 20-1 to win the national title behind the likes of Ohio State, Texas, Georgia, Oregon, Penn State, Notre Dame, and Alabama. So it's high expectations for Tennessee in year 2 with Nico. I just don't know if like I would be like bowing down to a quarterback that like only showed flashes last year, knowing that you have a system in place with Josh Heupel to where they've been able to get pretty much production out of anyone that's been there over the last 3 to 4 years. So like, let's see where this goes. My guess is that they kind of come to an agreement, but you know, maybe Nico is asking for a lot of stuff and actually wants to go to the portal and see what his true value is.
I think that's the most likely option is they figure out a deal. But then you also have to say, is he the highest paid quarterback in the SEC? Because I don't think he's the most talented quarterback in the SEC. I think Lenore Sellers is, and I'd say DJ Lagway might be in front of him. He might be the third. He might be QB3 in the SEC. So are you going to pay QB1 money for a guy that's, in your mind, rankings-wise, QB3 in that conference? This becomes a really fun story if another team, let's say an SEC Big Ten school, pulls him away. Then we now have this precedent set where, okay, open season on guys that are pretty much under contract to already play for that team in that spring transfer window. And I think the fact that you mentioned it 5 days from now, that spring transfer window opens, the timing of this story, I do not think is a coincidence 5 days before the transfer portal window opens.
Oh, 100%. And also too, like the fact that it's out there, who was this, like which side is the one that put this out there? Because Chris Lowe, who also covers college football for ESPN, he put out in his tweet that Nico's reps denied Thursday that there was any renegotiation talks happening. So like it's like all right, like is this actually a thing, or is like Nico, like is Tennessee just trying to out there put pressure on him to come back to practice and not ask for it? Because I'm assuming he's asking for money. Otherwise, why would he not be practicing? Like he's asking for something. But like,
and we saw this last year at UNLV, right, with Matthew Sluka. Kind of a different situation,
100%.
But the end result was, see you later, Sluka. We got this other guy. I forget his name. He was the Campbell transfer. I forget
Tyler
his name.
Put in the chat what the other quarterback's name was. We loved him on the show. Like we bet the hell out of UNLV in that first game. Yeah,
and like you know, you look at that
Hajj Williams.
Yep. That's an unforgettable name. I can't believe I forgot that name. But that's the next level of this. If Tennessee feels like their cupboard is stocked, we got money to spend elsewhere. We have other needs, Nico. Like, I think this becomes more of a story if another team offers Nico's asking price, and then Nico has to make the decision if he's Iamaleava or not. All right, I promise that's the last time I'll use that. I promise. Yes. It's retired forever.
We have already thrown tomatoes at you. We've already booed you. like I don't know how many more hints you need that it's not a good show. This is never should have debuted. Jake is right. But we appreciate the effort though, and it made us laugh, which is always fun. I think that the system is more so at play in Tennessee than the actual quarterback. And I'd be curious to see like if Tennessee just says, see you later, move on. And at that point, like if Nico, because someone else is going to pick him up, like do we see another quarterback try to force their team's hand? Because like if this is now the way to get more money, like, you know, like what's to stop DJ Lagway from doing it at Florida? What's to stop Lenore Sellers over at South Carolina from doing this as well? Like, what's to stop Arch Manning at Texas? Maybe like, you know what, guys, pay me my money or I'm gone. Like, maybe these guys feel like they are worth a little bit more than what they're actually getting. And that now this is like kind of like the completion of where we're already headed in college football. But now it's really coming into picture. Like, this is just professional football with school affiliations. Like, that's what this is. Like, it's turned into that to where now you have guys that are negotiating contracts through the media, and you already have like people leaving in the portal, coaches leave whenever they want. Like, this is professional sports. Like, let's just be real about it. Like, yeah, like we all love like the collegiate ties, and I know Jared, like you're a Penn State alum, like you love your school, but like if Drew Aller did this, like I guess it shouldn't be unexpected, you know? Like it's now the professionalism of college sports is now like kind of like the Venn diagram is just now a circle between college and NFL. Like that's just kind of what it is now.
Yeah, and I mean minor league football, right? Like baseball has the minor league system, different structure, but there's not as much money in it. The players get paid peanuts compared to what these college players get paid. It is pretty wild to see how quickly this landscape has evolved. I remember 3 years ago when we were just starting to talk about the transfer portal and NIL, we had no idea how far, how deep the rabbit hole actually goes. But now that things are starting to develop in this new landscape, and a perfect example of it is what we saw in the NCAA tournament in basketball. Like college sports has changed so much in the last 3 years. It's naive of us to think that our favorite entities, playoff, bowl season, NCAA tournament, are not going to change along with it. And obviously, this is just another, domino to fall from that.
I guess yeah, as bettors, like to kind of wrap up the conversation, like it almost feels like first of all, I'm not betting a college football future until after the spring transfer portal.
Absolutely not.
Like you know what I mean? Like it's like I just even if it's at like 200 to 1, you never know what could happen unless you have information that some school that's like 100 to 1 is about to get in a big time quarterback and it's not like out there in the public knowledge. Like that's when I'd make a bet. But outside of that, I don't know how you can be placing bets to like either win the Heisman or to win the national title or to make the playoff until after this spring transfer portal, because that's one of the reasons why we're seeing programs cancel their spring games. Like the University of Texas, Steve Sarkisian says, you know what? We're not having our spring game. Why are we putting tape out there for other people to scout our guys and to pluck them from the spring transfer portal? Like that's like, we're not going to do that. We're not going to just go ahead and say, here, like, look at all of our good players that we have. Look at all this depth. Come steal it from us. Like, no, we're not going to do that. It's interesting. It's all very interesting. And I think as a bettor, like it's head on a swivel and it's uncertainty, which I think is great for us. But I think only after the spring transfer portal, because that's when like we want to at least know what the hell these rosters look like. Because before then, I don't know, we could wake up next week and all of a sudden Jeremiah Smith is in the portal. Like I doubt it, but like it wouldn't shock me one bit if we're already seeing stuff like this happening.
Totally agree. I also left off Nussmeier. I think he's ahead of Nico right now.
It's a good player.
Maybe in the quarterback rankings.
Bet him to win the Heisman last year.
QB4. I mean, QB4 in the SEC. Tough to sell that you are worth more than Carson Beck. And I know Carson Beck wasn't great last year. You want to blame Georgia's drops, receivers, other things. Like I know their defense wasn't as elite as it's been in years past. Like there's a lot of other reasons why Georgia, wasn't an elite team like they have been in years past. I don't think it's all on Carson Beck's shoulders, but apparently he's asking for more money than Carson Beck. I don't know if he's worth that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you're worth whatever anybody's willing to pay you. Like, that's the old adage. You're worth whatever.
And we're going to find out what Nico's worth. We're going to find out what he's worth over the next couple weeks, probably.
Yeah. Because I think a lot of these NIL deals, and it's funny you mentioned that, a lot of them, like, we don't really know, like, the actual number. There's rumored numbers. I feel like we're going to know on this one. Because, like, someone's going to put it out there, like, oh, he's asking for X amount of dollars. Like, that now becomes, like, the whole, like, PR battle between the school and the player. And like the player doesn't want to look like he's greedy. The school wants to make him look like he's greedy. Similar to what we see in the NFL, where it's like, oh, he's asking for this. Like it's an NFL, we don't bat an eye. In college football, I guess we shouldn't bat an eye either moving forward, because this is just the new reality as we sit here in 2025.